And Madam Chair, you are live.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Police Advisory Task Force meeting. It is November 11th, and I would like to begin by checking with everyone. Have you had an opportunity to review the previous agenda or
Yes.
meeting?
Yes.
All right, so I would like to make a motion for us to accept the meeting notes, and would like someone to second that.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 If anyone opposed,
Aye.
say nay. All right, so the ayes have it, and we will accept the meeting notes from the previous meeting. All right, so as far as the agenda today, I would like to make a motion for us to accept the agenda. Anyone would like to second that motion?
So moved.
All in
Madam
favor?
Chair,
Yes?
I'm sorry, Phil. Before we do, there is a brief discussion I would like for us to have about some of the recommendations, or the email that came from Chief Spruill, and I wonder if we should make that a part of the agenda to discuss it, and if so, then to do so without Chief Spruill on the call if he is on this call. And that's just a concern that I have, and just wanted to see what do you think about it.
Is it Chief Spruill on this call?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so if
yes, I'm here.
yeah, if he's on the call, we can add it, and then when we come to the part of the recommendations where the review board, we can expand and discuss it if everybody's cool with it.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm good with that. But also adding to that, we got a message from the mayor, I think, in that same email chain that we should probably discuss.
Okay, I might have missed that one.
The mayor sent us an email asking us, I think, basically said, before endeavoring into the granular and time-consuming work of ordinance composition, please refer to the committee charge that was presented at the start of the year and prepare a response to each of these items. And then he lists out those 7 original charges.
Okay, and that was to be addressed. If y'all want to add that and address or list that out now, we can. We're probably gonna have part 2 of this meeting because we were gonna do that at the town hall by going through the recommendations and answer mayor's questions. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am.
Do y'all want to add that now, or what do y'all want to do?
Okay, I guess as an option, either we can go with the agenda as it is today, to get something on paper as far as the town hall, and then dedicate next week's meeting to the email that we received. And thank you, Phil, to the email that correspondence we received from Chief and from Mayor Girtz, because I just got a feeling that everyone may not have had a chance to really look over it thoroughly enough to be prepared to discussion about it, because there are some issues and concerns that we do want to address. And so if it would be better to give it until next week so that everyone can be more informed of it, then I think that may be a good option or idea.
I'm fine with that. I'm good with that.
Okay, so we're going to make a motion to amend the agenda to add Chief Spruill, the questions that Chief Spruill brought up.
That would, Madam Chair, I'm sorry, that will be for the next meeting. You can go ahead today with it. Okay. Sure, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can go ahead today with the agenda as it is, and then we'll just dedicate the next meeting. We'll coordinate with Sarah to make sure it's on the agenda. I have a question.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
Well, because Shane, you had 2 parts to your statement. The first was to review. Sorry, I think the connection's bad, but the first part was to review Chief Spruill's comments, and the second was something about I don't know if you not having Chief Spruill in the conversation, or what was that portion?
Okay, yeah. What I was saying is that when we review these suggestions that's made by Chief Spruill, I just feel like it would be more productive if he was not on the call. If that's something that we can do amongst ourselves without any other input. And I just feel like it goes with greater autonomy amongst us to make a decision with respect to his recommendation.
Oh, well, I would agree with that.
So should we motion for that for this meeting and for the next one?
Yes, ma'am. That's. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Madam Chair. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I guess we're gonna make a motion to, we're gonna keep the agenda as is, right? And next week, we're gonna add Chief Sproul comments and Mayor Gertz. We'll deal with that next week, correct? That's what we're saying, right?
And
Yes,
Madam Chair,
yes, ma'am.
if I might, so I just want to be clear that the board's about to vote that they want to discuss Chief Sproul's comments, but they don't want Chief Sproul there to discuss them. Just to be clear.
No, that's not what we're voting on. We're voting on leaving the agenda as it is and add Chief Sproul's comment and Mayor Gertz comments for next week. If I am clear, Shane, is that what you're saying? Or you're saying we're making a different vote?
Yeah, no. Well, it's okay. We'll get through it. But I think what Blaine is saying is that the fact that we want to have this discussion without Chief Rule on the call, perhaps we do need to make a vote on that. But I think it'll be after we approve the agenda for today, I believe, if we need to make a vote on that.
Mhm.
And so we're all on the same page. But I think we're just talking about process now, about how it should be done.
Okay, so I would like to make a motion for us to accept the agenda as it is today.
So moved.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 If anyone opposed, say nay. All right, so we will accept the agenda as is. So now, do we wait till the end of the meeting or do we make the motion to discuss Chief Sproul without him there? Do we do it now or at the end? Do y'all want to vote on it now or at the end?
Well, I'm definitely extra the topic, but maybe at the end when we do final business and just conclude it. So that's
I agree with
don't know.
Shane.
I mean, this. Okay.
That makes sense. And there might be something come up during this meeting that we want to add to the agenda for next week. So at the end, we'll know what that is.
Right. Right.
Well, I guess we're ready to go. We're ready to go over the current recommendations that we have made and make sure that everything is good. And then the second item would be to discuss the town hall. All right. Did anyone want to add anything else? I have the recommendations open up in front of me. I know that there was a particular place that we wanted to add some things maybe. Who wanted to begin with their input as far as if they think anything is missing and that we need to add anything to these recommendations before our town hall?
You know, one thing I guess I would like to say, and I don't want to be premature because I know we just voted to bring this up on the agenda next time, but I do wonder if we should double check the 7 things that we were charged with, or at least, I mean, I think when we have our town hall meeting, we need to be very clear of what our task force was charged with. And the mayor listed those 7 things out again. I mean, and we had that early on too. This isn't a new thing, right? I mean, we've had this all along, but it does it does provide kind of maybe a good checklist just to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. If we look at each of those 7 things that we originally charged with and make sure that it's included somewhere, in this summary.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I would say that we probably have to work on that next week. The 7 things that we were charged with at Mayor Gertz first acts is something that we were going to use as a guideline when we had the town hall, like how does it benefit the community? All the different questions, we're going to answer those things. But I feel like we would have to really get through the recommendations in order to answer all those questions.
Yes,
So
they're all related. Mhm.
yeah, that's why I agree with Shane to let's focus on that next week after we go over these recommendations, make sure everything we want is here, and then use the recommendations to answer the questions as a checkpoint to make sure we hit everything.
That's a good idea. And kind of do that on the backside. And that's a good final check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, let me go down here. So structure and function. Is there anything that anyone wants to add to that? I see a lot of purple and red marks on here.
Is there any way we can share this document or bring it up on the screen, or is that too hard to do?
I can do it if you
Okay.
bear with me.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I have it up.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, so structure and function. We recommend for this agency to accept complaints of police misconduct and be open to accepting a variation of all complaints. This agency will review the complaints and can monitor the investigative process in addition to offering both policy and training recommendations following the outcome of the investigation. Okay, now the auditor can still examine patterns, trends, and practices to recommend policy changes. Now, if you see the bullet points, do we want to add anything? Everyone is looking at it, so you let me know if there's anything that we want to add to those bullet points before we clean it up. Because all those lines that you see is what's going to be taken out and cleaned up.
I want to add something or clarify, I guess. Bullet point 2, what should happen when there is a disagreement between the police department and the oversight agency? Oh, for whoever put in that first bullet point, it's recommended that the review board be comprised of Athens-Clarke County residents be the final decision makers. I think that's great and it meets a lot of the goals that we've been speaking about in terms of adding like power and legitimacy to this body. But that second point where it's speaking to a disagreement and who would be the oversight agency, I'm wondering if we can just have that person or that entity be the mayor and commission instead of being an auditor or a city manager. Like if there's a disagreement, that the mayor and commission or the mayor can settle that disagreement. I'm wondering what others would think about that.
I like that idea. I did want Leanne to expand on the balancing of power because she made a recommendation. I just wanted clarification on how that would function because she was saying that I guess someone would answer to the mayor and commission. Leanne, are you there?
I am. I agree with the wording that, how Stephanie worded it, because this builds on the conversation that we had last time with respect to, for some of the day-to-day things that the auditor is obviously working, independently on a daily basis. But if there are issues that come up, this all goes to your conversation on that ultimate separation of powers that, realistically, the way your government is structured there, the mayor and your commissioners, report to the electorate as well in your community. So, and this is a board that they are actually creating, and they also oversee the manager. So they would be kind of that separation of power to address disagreements. So I think that based on your structure, I think that is the most appropriate way that you could probably address that. And I know you guys have talked about this for a couple of weeks now, but I like the way Stephanie worded it. I think that that's appropriate.
Okay, is there any way that we can, Stephanie, can you add that as a note on the side? I just want to make sure the language is being used properly. Looking at the previous meeting notes, Leanne, you said, suggest that there's a circular nature of accountability. So we have to make sure we use the proper term. And then here you're saying the elected officials would hold the manager and the police chief accountable to provide the response as why something is not being done. So my main thing is how do we make sure that we put that recommendation is to word it properly?
Right. I can go back in there and put some appropriate some language into that onto the side there or into the document for you guys to consider. But I think that, yeah, when I made that comment as far as, that would be the other check and balance. I mean, I need to look at what words I would use besides check and balance. That sound more. But basically, that's what you're trying to accomplish, right? That there is that added level of review, like in the process, or accountability in the process, and that it's ultimately at the hands of the mayor and and your commissioners.
Can I ask a question there?
I like the way you, on 1 second, Chief, I like the way you use the term circular nature of accountability.
Yeah, that's appropriate, I believe.
Yeah. All right. Chief?
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand what get some clarification on what it means when we talk about where there's a disagreement between the police department and the oversight committee. Are we talking about a disagreement on the final disposition of a case, or on a request to go back and do more investigation, or any disagreement that we have? I mean, what are we? Can you give me some examples of when it would be considered a disagreement that would be necessary to take before the commission or the mayor, and when it would be something that we would just move forward with our process on?
That's a good question. That's a really good question.
I think I think it's hard to account for every possible potential instance in which you would disagree, and you certainly don't want to be, having to pull the mayor and and your commissioners into every discussion. But I think that it would be most likely in the cases where the manager and the manager and the auditor maybe disagree on how something should go forward, or the manager and the chief. Let's say maybe it's a disagreement on how something should be released, maybe the outcome of a case or something should be released, or a recommendation that's made to change a policy, or recommendation that is made to implement a particular training. And if the chief and the manager disagree with the recommendation of the auditor, then it should go back to your board, who has the ability to take that to the mayor and your commissioners. That's how I would envision it. But I don't think it has to be on a day-to-day basis, obviously. I mean, I would hope that you wouldn't have those kind of disagreements on a day-to-day basis. So I think putting every possibility in there is probably not optimal, because you don't even know what it is what challenges you're going to, you may face none. I mean, they may all be recommendations or things that are implemented, but and maybe you do want to clarify it, or say something like, in the event that there's a disagreement on a fundamental either recommendation or something that the auditor and your board feel needs to be implemented, then those are the things that can be ultimately taken to the mayor and your commissioners.
Yeah, I would like us to narrow, I know we can't identify, but I would like for us to at least say in extreme circumstances, because I'm hoping that at least this body can come to resolve their own disagreements. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We don't know what that might be, but it has to be something on a level to where it's a serious situation and it's going on and it can't be resolved. So I don't know how everybody else feels about that. What kind of words we would use, or even the fact that Chief Sproul brought it up. What do you think as far as as far as disagreements, what type of disagreements would you think would need, or if at all, in a sense of, if it's on this level, yeah, let's go ahead and bring it to the mayor and commission so that it can be resolved.
Well, Madam Chair, can I just, and this is just a suggestion, because the way I've seen this work, and we seem to have left a important step out of this process, in that we're going straight from a disagreement between basically two different entities within the Athens-Clarke County government, and going straight to the mayor without giving the manager the opportunity to be involved and try to resolve the situation. So I would suggest that anytime there's a disagreement that is serious enough to where the auditor or the monitor feels like they want to challenge it, that it be brought to the manager. If the manager gets in and can't resolve it at his level, then it be something that might move on to the mayor and the commission. But certainly, I think that's what the manager is there for, is to look at it from both different perspectives and give his input. So I wouldn't
mind. I don't object to that process if everybody else is cool with that wording to be added to it, because I do feel like it would create a balance, and it still has an opportunity to, if it's not resolved through the manager or however, we still have an opportunity to still bring it to the mayor and commission. But you're correct. Whoever is the go-to should have an opportunity to be involved.
Madam Chair, this is Liana. Exactly. That's what I neglected to say. I mean, I believe the first level of, resolution should be through the manager. And if it's something that, the auditor and the commission, your board actually feel that it's not being resolved at that level, then there's that next level of
Well,
decision.
if I could offer, I mean, because it seems like we have very different perspectives on which body or which entity, whether the manager or the auditor, should have a final say or have the office even housed in their department. And I feel like just going straight for, in the interest of balancing powers and affording equal amount of power to this board, as one would a manager or an auditor in some senses, it would make the most sense to come to a compromise. And instead of suggesting that it's the manager or the auditor who have the final say, having it just be the mayor in commission. I think that is as far removed from any conflict of interest as possible and is a good compromise between the different perspectives that have been given on this board.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
If I might, just refer, I think, the attorney's office, one thing that we're saying on one hand is that we have a reporting structure that, is inherent in the charter, which is being equated with a conflict of interest. So I just want to be clear about this. The way that the charter is currently constructed, the mayor and commission, as Liana alluded to, the check and balance, if you will, is through, their direction to me as the manager. It's not about me, it's the manager. And then Chief Spruill serves at my direction. So, just like any other due process that we have, even with our personnel system, any type of system, there's a kind of a chain that you go through, and hopefully you resolve it before it gets to the top. I don't see it as a conflict of interest. I see it as the way that the charter is written about, the reporting and the, I guess, just the supervisory aspect of it. So I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
Madam Chair, if I may, I think the goal here too is to utilize existing structure as much as possible to achieve the goals. And where it's absolutely impossible to utilize the current structure, then we have to take it to another level. But to add another layer of accountability to this, to put the city manager in the midst before we get to the mayor and the commission, it is not going to take away at all. In fact, it may add another layer of just recourse for the individual or the board that's taking this complaint up. So if the city manager makes a decision that the board still doesn't agree with, then we still have the mayor and commission to go to. And so those are more options and more recourses that we have as opposed to less. And then also at that same time, it allows us to utilize the existing structure without having to go through whatever it takes to rewrite a charter or, so I think more is better, when there are people that we can appeal to or that the board can appeal to. In this sense, I think more is better. And this is coming from personal experience with criminal justice system. Having more courts that I can appeal to was definitely worked for me because I myself had filed an appeal to the state court and just did not agree with the ruling. And so there were other courts that I was able to appeal to and ultimately was able to win my appeal. So I'm kind of looking at it from that perspective too, is that the more layers, the more opportunities.
Okay.
Well, I agree with you on that part, Shane, but still, like, the order of power is what got us here in the first place. And I just don't trust the process of having it go through these people who have allowed stuff to get this bad in this town to change something when they've already had the chance to change it and they haven't changed it. So I feel like I agree with Stephanie. If anything, okay, if they still in the chain, they need to be in the bottom of the chain because this thing is supposed to be for the people. So we still taking power away from the people. We supposed to be moving from supremacy. So if we gonna do that, the people who's in charge of everything else don't need to be in charge of this. That's just my take.
And Madam Chair, could I speak for a moment?
Go ahead.
I just wanted to echo what Blaine said, which is that we have this structure, and whether we like it or not, this is a strong manager form of government. So that structure does exist, and it's not something that this group or any other group really has an ability to change without dramatically changing the structure of our entire government. So
My understanding. Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to encourage us to try to work, as Shane said, work within that system, because I think efforts otherwise would be fruitless.
Yeah, it's just my understanding that we didn't have to change the whole charter to put it in the ordinance for the mayor and commission to be that response, like for the mayor and commission to handle discrepancies or disagreements. Like I don't think anyone here is suggesting a changing of the charter, whether or not we like the manager system. It's more so what can we do within the structure of this ordinance to create those pathways of power for the people in a way that doesn't currently exist. So I'm thinking that we can write it into the ordinance that this position can report to the mayor and commission, and it would not upset or dissolve any of the power structures necessarily. It would just work parallel to it.
Right, and I think what I'm trying to say is that everything in our bureaucracy of the government is designed to follow a chain of command, in which the manager is pretty much the top, unless it's a constitutional officer, and then of course the mayor and commission is above him. So I think it would be. I don't think you have the authority to create an ordinance that divert from that process. Human resources.
You saying you don't think?
Wait a minute. It would be in the recommendations, and in order for us to talk over each other, you have to say, "May I speak?" or something, so that everybody get a
I ain't saying nothing, because these people are saying stuff, and we are supposed to be going away from supremacy. And if we are not going away from supremacy, y'all might as well do away with this, because this is ridiculous. Because you got too many people in office who are fighting to stop, to keep power in their power. Relinquish the power. If you don't have a problem with this format, relinquish the problem.
Okay, so we're gonna have to vote next week. We can't go this. We can't do this every week. What we gonna do next week?
Speak, Madam Chair.
I was just speaking, and you just sat there and told me not to say nothing. No, you can't speak.
I'm asking. Can I have an opportunity to speak, Madam Chair?
Yes.
No, you the problem. You don't need to speak because you keep bringing up these problems.
This is my understanding of what we were doing. Is we were coming together as an unbiased board to put together a positive citizens oversight committee to look at how we can improve our operations and
you have been dictating this whole process.
I didn't interrupt you, Nikema. I didn't interrupt you, Nikema. No, I didn't.
Interrupting you.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is if we, this is not supposed to be
you ain't gonna say nothing because I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you always trying to take control of something when you don't have to take control of something. Sit back and let the
Chair, can I finish my thought, please? Can I finish my thought without being interrupted, Madam Chair? So the work that we're supposed to be doing here continues to be interrupted by allegations of supremacy and allegations of misconduct directed towards the police department. I think that the citizens are not able to address some of that.
We need to call this meeting to order. We need to
because I got a blight against you anyway, because you sent the police to my damn job. So I already got a blight against you. What did you talk about?
This is Chris Clausen.
We have about this meeting to order. We have to call this meeting to order.
Real from me, because I don't want to hear it. I ain't scared of none of you.
We have to call this meeting to order. We have to call the meeting to order. And we have that we're doing the will of the people. We cannot use this to vent personal gripes on either side. We have to call the order so that we can be structured in what we're doing. We have to be structured in what we're doing, because if we lose structure, then we're doing nothing but adding fuel to a fire that's already there. So let's keep it structured. We have a platform established to express our grievances in context of our job, our mission, what we're supposed to be doing. And there are other platforms to express other grievances. So we have to keep this in order to benefit anybody with this. Right now, what we're doing is benefiting anyone. So let's keep order. We can express our positions as long as in context of the mission at hand and other things. There are other avenues to address them at other times. It's not the time and place for everything at every point.
Don't keep muting me, Phil. Don't keep muting me, because I don't care nothing about that, man. Because I'm tired of it. These people keep trying to run over people. T-Spore don't run nothing. T-Spore want to make it easy for him through Blaine. Blaine is taking off for T-Spore, and I'm tired of it because y'all keep killing people around here, keep hurting people and stuff, and y'all don't care about nobody. If you cared about people, you'll relinquish your power.
Mr. Stovall, this is my question. Objective enough to work
Hell
in
no, I
collaboration.
can't. Not when this man, he is not being objective. He is everything we've been doing. He been trying to dictate everything we've been doing in here. And then, like I say, these people sitting in the police locking me up on some false stuff. I'm tired of it. I'm not with that, man.
Okay,
But this crossing into personal and into.
I don't care nothing about no personal. I don't care nothing about business. It's the truth, Mocha. Quit trying to sugarcoat stuff. Let's be real. Y'all scared of these folks? I'm not scared of these people.
It's not about being scared of it.
Yes, it is, because you are letting supremacy win. That is supremacy. You are letting supremacy win when you sit back and let them say what they want to say, but I can't say what I want to say.
Make a motion to close the meeting for today because it's just
It don't
emotions are too
matter,
high.
because I'm still standing on mine. I'm standing on mine forever. Because Chief Spore and Blaine is wrong. Both of them wrong.
I motion we adjourn.
I second that motion.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded that we adjourn, and we will conclude for today, and we will schedule our next meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, bye. And then y'all can come see me. We can meet, whatever. I'm still going to tell you the same thing.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Fuck them goddamn folks. Tired of this shit.